Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Dr. Velton Gooden, Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica, and the executive team and all the staff members that are hosting us here this evening, Mr. John Mafood, President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant evening to you all. Come on, man, we can do better than that. We're talking about standards. We have a greeting standard in Jamaica, you know. When we say pleasant evening, it comes back at you with smiles and oomph. Pleasant evening to you all. We're warming up. We're not hit the BSJ standard yet, but we're getting there. Thank you so much for coming out this evening to what will be a very exciting launch of the public relations campaign for the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, committed to quality and standards. Standards are extremely important if you're going to be successful. You know, standards also bring cohesion. You know, the consumer is expecting a standard. You are providing a service, you're providing a good, you meet that standard. So we're all in agreement. And when you think about it, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, tiny company, you know, but doing talawa work. Because when you think about it, when you are the guardians of standard in a nation, then you're the guardians of development, you're the guardians of business, you're the guardians of success. And so can I get a round of applause to the BSJ? Yeah. So we're going to be hearing about some of that this evening. We're going to see some testimonials from people, different sectors of industry here in Jamaica, and just how partnering with the BSJ has done so much for them and their business and the success of their business. I know Mr. Mafood is here because the BSJ has ensured that a lot of our manufacturers hit the international standards. Without them, they wouldn't have been able to be exporting as successfully as they are. And so we really are happy to be here this afternoon. But before we get into all of that, the standard of a prayer, I believe, for us here in Jamaica is our national anthem. It speaks a lot to what we ask as a nation and as a country. And so I invite Kimberly Alexander to deliver the national anthem for us.
Good evening, everyone. Could you please stand for me? Thank you so much. Eternal Father, bless our land, guide us with the mighty hand, keep us free from evil powers, be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above, justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all, stir response to duty's call, strengthen the weak to perish, give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge, send us heavenly feather, grant true wisdom
Thank you very much, Kim Lee. You may be seated. I now invite Jamar Cornwall, librarian at the BSJ, to offer a word in prayer. Jamar?
I'm here. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you with humbled hearts, seeking your blessing and guidance as we launch this campaign. We pray that your wisdom and strength will guide us in our efforts to make a positive impact in the lives of those we seek to serve. We ask that you fill us with courage to face any challenges that may arise along the way. Give us the perseverance to press. Give us the perseverance to press on, mighty God, even when the road ahead seems difficult. And grant us the clarity of mind to make sound decisions as we navigate this journey. We pray for the success of this campaign. We trust in your divine presence, knowing that you are in control of all things. We thank you for all. We thank you for all that you have done for us, mighty God, and give us the opportunity to serve in the way that we are mandated to serve. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Demar. Dr. Welton Gooden is the Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica and Chair of the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality since 2021. Dr. Gooden is a result-driven professional with an exceptional eye for detail, accompanied by proven experience in analyzing operational gaps against company principles, and an expert in driving quality improvements internally and customer success externally to increase revenue and profitability. He has over 30 years of industry experience and is adept at devising and executing strategic plans and company policies. Ladies and gentlemen, to bring us greetings, please welcome the Executive Director of the BSJ, Dr. Welton Gooden.
Ms. Delia Harris, Master of Ceremonies, Senator, the Honorable Albin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, or Business Ministry, and you will hear us talking about that more. Mr. Wilfred Bagaloo, Chairman of the Standards Council, Bureau of Standards Jamaica. Mr. John Mafood, President, Jamaica Exporters Association. Dr. Loris Brown, CEO of the National Compliance and Regulatory Authority. Mrs. Sharon May Shirley, CEO of JANAC, Jamaica National Authority for Accreditation. Ms. Maxine Fagan, Manager, Communications and Customer Service here at the BSJ. Other participants, members of the Standards Council who came out in support of us today, members of the industry, thank you for being here, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to see so many of you out today in support of the launch of this very important PR campaign. We are excited to have you, and we want to share something with you. This evening signifies a pivotal point, a pivotal moment in the history of the BSJ. And we are honored to be a part of the journey of the BSJ at this time. I am very elated to be sharing with you all this evening as we introduce the public relations campaign under the theme, Committed to Quality and standards. Committed to quality and standards. This theme, we can say, not only articulates our organizational mantra, but it is also embedded in the core of what we do, embedded in the core of who we are as an organization. 53 years ago, the BSJ was established, and it was established to promote and encourage the maintenance of standardization in relation to commodities, processes, and practices. Over the years, though, the role of the organization has progressively been changed and expanded to respond to regional as well as international developments, and most importantly, the needs and expectation of the clients, of you, our stakeholders, who we are so happy to have with us this evening. In recent years, we have been encountering a number of challenges. Many of you are aware of these challenges, not the least of which has been the COVID pandemic, which, irrespective of where you are in the world, you have had to grapple with. And indeed, that has tested our fortitude and our resilience. But during these times, we have continued to plan, we have continued to strategize and execute, guided by our mission and vision, in tandem with the strategic priorities of the government and, of course, our parent ministry, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, the Business Ministry. We gather this evening to witness the unveiling of a new paradigm for the BSJ, which was carefully and intentionally crafted by our team, and in keeping with a vision of strategic change and innovation, which supports the strengthening of the business environment to become internationally competitive while fostering economic growth through investments, exports, and indeed job creation. This launch therefore serves as part of the innovative machinery that has been oiled for optimal performance and indeed ultimate success. As an organization, we have visualized where we want to go, and this evening we invite you along that journey. Our hope is that our journey will soon become your journey. It will become a national journey as we strive towards greater trade, export, and expansion of trade to accommodate job creation and the betterment of our people in general. Over the years, in keeping with our national and organizational mandate, we have crafted and have had to recraft our message, and our most recent message is encapsulated in a public relations campaign that tells of our commitment to quality and standards through our range of services, through our redefined role as a facilitator. Yes, indeed, a facilitator of business. We are championing our purpose and collaborating with the people that are aligning with it. This strategic move synchronizes with the needs of the business sector, particularly the MSMEs, which are considered anywhere in the world to be the drivers of an economy, the drivers of growth, and Jamaica is by no means an exception of that. Consequently, over the years, within the next few months, we will engage the general public, but with a specific focus on three particular industries. The food industry, and the Jamaican cuisine is well known throughout the world. Construction, which is a booming industry, as also tourism, which is one of the foremost industries, something that Jamaica is known internationally for. And we will share the message that the BSJ facilitates a culture of quality and standards in Jamaica by facilitating business development and trade. And if I should simplify this message in terms of our own familiar Jamaican vernacular, it would be, come explore your options with the BSJ and grow your business. Our number one strategy for the next 4 years is to support the building of a strong and resilient business sector, and to achieve this, we must strengthen our stakeholder engagement to communicate the benefits of engaging the services of the BSJ, which is guaranteed to improve operational efficiency, improve the quality of their products and services, and market access. The BSJ understands that public relations influences the perception of a brand, and we want to engage our stakeholders to share our story. And as I said before, we are hoping that our story will eventually become indeed your story. It is also that we hope to transcend not just the telling of our story, but focus on the impact it will make on the people who will use and benefit from the services and the standards that we develop. We were able to build out and implement this concept through teamwork. And at this point, I want to pause to thank the BSJ management team that was instrumental in crafting this PR campaign, our board for giving support, and they're out with us in numbers, as also our staff, and also the different stakeholders who were very instrumental in guiding us as we crafted this PR campaign and strategy moving forward. Also, to our parent ministry, the business ministry, for providing the backdrop for the creation of the key strategies, the priority areas of focus and major activities, and our valued clients and stakeholders for consistent feedback and expectations that fuel the drive to deliver on our promise, as our core value says, care. And that means that we intend to continue to be customer focused, to be accountable, to be responsive, to be excellent, and to be supportive. So going forward, what can you expect of a new and renewed and focused BSJ? Well, expect this. Over the next few months going forward, expect that the BSJ will be more targeted and focused. Expect that we will be launching a number of new as also revised standards, focusing on some of the very important commodities like rice, fuel, a standard for solar panels, just to name a few of the areas of focus that we'll have in the months to come ahead. Expect expanded testing services. Expect improved turnaround times in the services that we will offer, and expect a closer collaboration between us and our partnering regulatory agencies, including the CSC. And Darcy, we're very happy to see you here with us today. Miss Allen is the CEO of the CSC, the Consumer Affairs Commission. So expect a much more engaged and responsive BSJ. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us this evening at this very important occasion. Do enjoy the rest of the program and do have a wonderful evening.
Let's hear it one more time for Dr. Gooden. Very excited about his presentation. One of the things that I took away from it is that standards are dynamic. And so the BSJ has ensured that in response to that dynamism, they've become innovative and very responsive to the needs of their clients. He says the BSJ journey is a national journey. How wonderful. This is the one I liked. Job creation. Yes, it's a journey towards job creation. And there's a commitment to the range of services to facilitate business. 3 industries. Food. I'm glad to hear that. I know this might not be a BSJ thing. No, but in a laugh, standards are important. You don't ever go buy a piece of jerk chicken yet. Talk to me. And then when you eat it, you say this not tastes like the standard of the jerk chicken. Oh, chicken supposed to taste. Miss, I wonder if you can do a standards thing for jerk chicken in Jamaica. When you see the pan then. Like sometimes you eat it and you say, no man, go back again. This is not jerk chicken. It don't taste right. Or have you been overseas and ordered and they're having jerk chicken? The Jamaican taste profile is everywhere. Everywhere. Is we make oxtail so expensive in the US. Yes, because of how much we love it, and now it's become this big deal. It's in pasta, oxtail, ravioli, because of the Jamaican taste profile. So that's important. Construction, and of course, tourism. So thank you, sir, for all that you do. Another round of applause for Dr. Gooden. Now, he did mention that one of the key partners of the BSJ are MSMEs, because around the globe, MSMEs are drivers of the global economy. And so this evening, we're going to be hearing from some of those MSMEs through testimonial videos. So in a minute, I want you to turn your attention to the screen, because we're going to be hearing from Ronetta Crooks Allen. She's a managing director of RSS Natural Delights.
Nutritious. My business is all about the manufacturing of almond protein bar. It's a very nutritious bar with no additives, no preservatives. Challenges faced before coming to the BSJ is that I needed the product to be tested and for it to be on the market so that it can be enjoyed by everyone. My first point of contact with the BSJ was with the Client Services Program. I was guided every step of the way by the Client Services Program and advised that I should have my label assessed by the BSJ Packaging Laboratory, as well as getting the product tested by the BSJ Microbiology Lab. I was further directed to review or purchase the BSJ standards, JSCRS5, which gives clear instructions on how to properly label the product, and the JS36, which is a guide on how to set up a food establishment. I chose to review the Standards Acts at the BSJ Library and was very impressed with the level of assistance given. The labeling department was also very helpful and always respond to any doubts or questions that I had regarding the labeling of the product. I can now confidently market my product to a wider community of persons and businesses. Anyone seeking to establish any food in business, I strongly recommend that you seek the services and guidance offered by the BSJ. Thank you, BSJ, for the incredible support given. My name is Karen Fraser, owner and CEO of Simply Nutritious, and
Hi, my name is Ronetta Crooks Allen. I'm the Managing Director of RSS Natural Delights. RSS Natural is a producer of coconut drops, peanut cake, grater cake, gizzardo, turmeric candy, just to name a few. We do our products with a difference, meaning we infuse fruits and nuts to our products, and the taste. I I wanted my products to go on the supermarket shelf. After approaching the supermarket, they asked if my products were tested by the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. And after that, I was talking to a church sister where she introduced Bureau of Standards to me, and that's where it all started for RSS Natural Delights. After the church sister introduced me to BSJ, I went to the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, and tell you the honest truth, the customer service, I give them a 5-star because they were so friendly, warm, welcoming, and everything. And after that, building a family relationship with them, they introduced me to all of the services of Bureau of Standards. At RSS Natural Delights, we show our commitment to quality and standard by accessing label assessment service from the BSJ packaging laboratory, calibration of my scale by the BSJ mass laboratory, training in good manufacturing practices by the BSJ Quality Institute, testing by the BSJ microbiology laboratory. These services have allowed RSS natural products to not only be safe for consumption, but it allows my business to be locally competitive and very soon globally competitive. My name is Ranetta Crooks Allen. I'm the Managing Director of RSS Natural Delights. And I am committed to quality and standards.
That's a happy businesswoman. Can I hear it for Ranetta and Karen? How lovely. Did you hear turmeric candy? Wow. No, that's innovation. An almond protein bar. Yes, you see the importance of labeling as well. Yeah, when you hear almond protein bar, you want to know what's in it. I saw rolled oats. I saw some cinnamon. I saw agave syrup. Yes, I was reading the label because I wanted to make sure it was something I'd love. And so thank you, Bureau of Standards Jamaica, for doing that. But someone who understands the importance of labeling and making sure that your consumers are aware of what you have is the current president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. He previously served as the committee co-chairperson for membership and MSME program development. He's also the chief executive officer of Jamaican Teas Limited, and he holds a wealth of experience in local and international retail and trade, mergers, expansions, and turnarounds. He lives by the inspiration of his late father and former JTL chairman, Adib J. Mafood, a man of honesty, integrity, and hard work. He's the recipient of several commendations, including being a Jamaica Observer Business Leader nominee in 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, Mr. John Mafood.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you will allow me to say all protocols observed. I have to be very careful today what I say because there are some very powerful people here, not talking about the minister, but about the head of NCRA and the head of Food and Infestation. If you run a factory or a supermarket, you know that it's problems when they visit. I'll tell you a joke. So I just came back from Japan last week, and apparently it takes a long time to get over the jet lag. And I'm still getting over it, so my brain isn't really very good. Unlike the minister who has someone who plans all his meetings and all his presentations, I do it myself. So, you know, this has been a very busy week, and I had a MOU to sign at the Pegasus at 2, and I thought I had this meeting today at the Pegasus at 6. So I sat there waiting and doing my work, and come 6, I didn't see anything happening, you know. So I called JMEA and they said, no, it's Terranova. Now to get from Pegasus here, leaving at 6, fortunately the minister allowed me to be early. So the other thing I just want to say to you that, you know, even though I'm pretty old, and you don't know that you're going to have life-changing events, going to Japan is a life-changing event, no matter what your age. And the thing that stood out for me was the self-respect that Japanese people have for themselves, first of all, and for their fellow man. And when you see the highest CEO sweeping the streets in front of his apartment, or doing menial things, or you see a man who is cleaning a carpet being very meticulous about how he cleans the carpet, it's not about the money, it's about the respect that he has for himself, and that he wants to do the very best job, no matter what it is. So they don't really need to teach customer service. We in Jamaica have to teach customer service because we tell our staff that it is good to bring for the customer so they'll come back. But if you have self-respect and you do the best you can, that will give you the best customer service possible. So we need to think about that as Jamaican people, you know. The other thing is that was very extraordinary was every block had a police station on it. Every block in Tokyo has a police station. Now it's only a police station for 2 people, and police there are sitting there watching the monitor about what happens on their block. And the slightest thing that happens, they're out there taking care of it, you know. There is no crime. And lastly, that is the earthquake capital of the world. And so they have to be very careful about how they make their building blocks, and how and all their buildings are made to withstand an earthquake of 10.0. But interestingly, all their high-rise buildings, every 30 years, they destroy them. Every 30 years, a 40-story building or a 50-story building is destroyed and rebuilt. And so when you travel around Tokyo, all you see is construction going on everywhere. It's really amazing. So I know that the trip took a long time, but it was well worth it. So I'm happy to support the Bureau of Standards in this PR campaign. The JMEA represents over 500 manufacturers and exporters, most of whom depend on the expertise of the BSJ to operate at maximum capacity. For decades, the BSJ has provided critical services to the manufacturing sector and provided protection for consumers. The Bureau of Standards provides a myriad of services. I'm told 200 lab services, label assessment, training, certification. They write standards. They do measurements. They check gas station pumps. And I learned yesterday that they also check the lotto balls for to make sure they weigh consistently so that the result of the lotto is fair. But why the need for a PR at this time? That's what, you know, I asked myself, and one of the things that came to mind is that in previously to the start of the NCRA, the Bureau of Standards not only set the standards, but they used to come and do the testing, and you would see them in your factories. And since the start of the NCRA, and they have changed their role, which I guess we will hear about more today, they are more in the background. And unless you're using them for your own needs, to determine, to check labels, as was said before, or to write policies and so on, you don't really hear about the BSJ. But it is a critical organization. It really helps the manufacturers. So I can understand from that standpoint the need to relaunch and make us all aware of the role of the Bureau. Considering the recent public disclosure about failing blocks, coconut water problems, bottled water problems, ackee causing illnesses, you understand how vital this service is. It is anecdotal, but it seems that, and this came up in a discussion I had with the head of HART yesterday, because we signed a memorandum of understanding with HART to provide trained personnel for our manufacturing industry and to help bring people, college, high school graduates into the workforce and so on. I asked that question, and the head said, it may be that during COVID, a lot of people who lost their jobs started doing their own businesses. We see this in terms of, as manufacturers, we see this now in terms of a labor shortage. We find it very hard to find high school graduates and find other technical people. And we wonder where everybody has gone since COVID was finished. They just have not come back to work. And so it seems that a lot of these people started their own businesses. They went into block making maybe. They went into producing coconut water. They went into producing bottled water and many other businesses. Possibly thousands of these types of small businesses now operate in Jamaica around the countryside that didn't operate before. I guess that is good for the economy once we can now bring people back into the workforce. But these people are largely unregistered. And this will be the real challenge for the NCRA and the Bureau to handle all of these unregistered businesses around the country. And I suppose the NCRA and the Bureau will have to figure that out, because it's a real challenge when you hear about these informal manufacturers. Anyway, today I think the economy is in a growth path. We saw the budget presentation from the Prime Minister, a record amount of money being spent. This is a culmination of the 8 or 9 years of economic control, what you call it, macroeconomic control that has happened, where we have over time reduced our debt to GDP, but it has meant that it has been hard for the Jamaican population during the past 8 years, because the government hasn't had the money to spend on social programs and other things, as they use that to reduce the public debt. But we are now beginning to see the benefit and the fruits of that pain. I'm not sure Jamaican people are seeing it yet, but it has put us on a path of economic growth and maybe one day prosperity. With that said, I'm thinking that for the next 3-4 years, we should see this type of growth happening in the economy. But at the same time, our manufacturing sector has been hunkered down, so to speak, during COVID, just trying to survive, and we are slow to get out and push for exports and for expansion. We have our JMEA has our expo next month, in the month of March, next month of April. And we are using this as a way of stimulating and waking up our manufacturers and saying now is the time to put the past behind you and to start to build your companies and Jamaica. I put in a plug for Minister Hill. He doesn't need it, but he's out there in front. He's traveling to Guyana, Trinidad, and other places trying to lead the process of exports, and I commend him. I have not seen another minister do that and being out in front. So my feeling is this is very positive for us as manufacturers and for Jamaica. And more than ever, we need to engage the Bureau to help our businesses to grow and to produce the type of quality products that is needed on the export market. So thank you, everyone.
Let's hear one more time for Mr. Mafood. I tell you, Japan is also home to one of the largest reggae festivals in the world. They absolutely adore all things Jamaican. Did you see them in the World Cup? When there's a thing that Japan does every time they play, the fans clean the area that they sit. And so they asked them, why do you clean the stands? And they said it's part of their culture. If we go to someone's home and we leave it as clean as we saw it or cleaner than we saw it, we'll always be welcome. And so it's just something that they do. It's just a part of their culture. And I feel that one of the things that this public relations campaign will do is engender that culture of standards. Jamaica has some of the most creative and innovative people I have ever come across in the world. Is we name turn we hand, make fashion. But while we're turning we hand, we have to make sure so we're doing it right, or else the business end of it won't work. And so I feel like if we're helping people turn them hand while earning from the fashion, then it will be a wonderful culture of standards here in Jamaica. Thank you again, Mr. Mafood, for sharing with us. So earlier we saw testimonials coming from the food industry. Now we're going to hear from Eunice Griffiths. Eunice is Managing Director of Medical and Immunodiagnostic Laboratory. Here she is.
My name is Eunice Griffiths, and I am the Managing Director for the company I represent, which is Medical and Immunodiagnostic Laboratory, MidLab is the acronym we use. MidLab is a medical lab which began 1987. It is a medical lab that offers a full range of medical laboratory diagnosis, including blood sugar test, cholesterol. We do also COVID testing. We do semen analysis. We do maternity testing. And we take tissues for surgical biopsy. Full range of laboratory investigation. Before coming to the BSJ, which was quite a long time ago, we were faced with training was our biggest issue. And at that time, we weren't really working towards an international standard, even though we were doing the correct thing, but we were not guided by an international standard. So training was part of our biggest issue, and, staffing, qualified staff, yes. They played a very significant role because, as I said before, standards was fairly new to the medical lab and to industry. And their Quality Institute provided the training and workshops. They provided trained personnel, facilitators in quality management and technical procedures. We were trained how to write documents, how to write policies and procedures. And, we benefited in a large way. In fact, we are proud of the training we got from the BSJ, which is helping us to prepare ourselves for for accreditation. Well, we have grown because we are able now to hire trained people, trained personnel, especially with documentation. Because, we say if it's not written down, it's not done. And I think we have a culture of not writing. And I think we have learned that we have to document everything, because when we get a patient complaint, we get a non-conformity. These are new words we learn through the program. We have to, write policies and programs to deal with corrective action, preventive action, and auditing, internal and external auditing. So the training was really tremendous. Quality is, the end product of our service. And we believe that quality is, if it's, how we define quality is doing the right thing when no one is watching. So we respect quality, and we want our customers to be satisfied with the service that we give, So we thank BSJ, and as I said before, they were instrumental in getting us to this place. Again, I'm Eunice Griffiths, the Managing Director of MidLab. We are committed to quality and standards because we believe that this is the way to go to get our company worldwide recognition. And so I want to thank you, and don't be afraid to use our service, because we guarantee you that service is what we are.
Wow, let's hear it one more time for Eunice Griffiths. So one of the things that I really like about the testimonial videos is we saw Renetta and we saw Karen, and they're young entrepreneurs in the business. But here is Eunice Griffiths from 1987. Do you know how many years that is? Yep, 36 years. And 36 years she was still able to benefit and grow and develop standards that has now positioned her globally. So it's not just about people who are just embarking on business. It's those who've been in it, but they need to get over that hump to make them even more successful. So let's hear it one more time for the BSJ. And now it's time to hear remarks from our minister, Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill. Minister Hill has an MBA from Harvard University and over 35 years working experience in the private sector, as well as extensive experience in international banking, having spent more than 21 years as an international banker in the Middle East. Minister Hill's expertise and years of experience in finance, business management, and economics make him a highly favored speaker at local and international conferences. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment, and Commerce.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. Ms. Daly Harris. Mrs. Sansa Bennett Templar, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Mr. Wilfred Baglu, Chairman of the Standards Council and Bureau of Standards of Jamaica. I'm very pleased that Wilfred has kindly accepted. I think it's the only government board he sits on, and many people want him to sit on boards. Dr. Velton Gooden, who you heard earlier, he's the Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards. You heard him outline what he has been doing, and there's a lot more to come. Mr. John Mafood, who is still traveling back from Japan. And he takes pot shots at the minister. It's not a good idea. But John, it's good to see you, and welcome back from Japan. He's the president of the Manufacturers and Exporters Association of Jamaica, and he mentioned the expo that the JMEA is going to put on next month, and he failed to mention that the lead sponsor is the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica's business ministry. No, Sir John? Absolutely correct. We're very pleased to make sure we put our mouth where the money we're going to put. You know what I mean? I switched it around a bit. Put the money where our mouth is so that we keep talking about export. I keep, everywhere I go, here, overseas, Jamaica has to export more. So when the time came to look at what we're going to do in April with the JMEA, we said, yes, we will step up. We will be the main sponsor. And we want to make sure that that is a success, and we wish you every success, you and your team, John. Mrs. Sharon May Shirley, who is the head of JANAC, Jamaica National Accreditation Council body, that place that serves 10 different countries in the Caribbean right now, and you don't know that. The accreditation agency that Sharon May runs actually serves Trinidad, Guyana, Jamaica, of course, but above all, it's one of 4 entities in the world that has the authority from the federal drug FDA administration in the United States to accredit bodies that do testing on behalf of the FDA. I think 2 of those 4 bodies are in the United States. One is in Jamaica, and one is headed by Sharon May Shirley, the head of JANAC, and it's amazing. It means that the accreditation that JANAC gives to the rice producers and testers in Guyana, if they are accredited by JANAC through the FDA, and I think they are by now, when their rice arrives in New York or New Orleans or wherever they send it to on the East Coast, most likely Florida, because it has been tested by an FDA accredited testing body, they don't have to worry about FDA tests when they arrive in the United States. It's a big deal. Give them a round of applause. Another round of applause. I see Mrs. Dulce Allen here, who runs the Consumer Affairs Commission, out there testing prices and checking with people and having our people out there checking to make sure that, as I say, business do more and better, and I support them. We make sure that the spectrum of business, which starts, if you're from the manufacturing end, in the manufacturing or growing of something to the consumer, or if you're from the consumer end, from the consumer to the grower or manufacturer, everybody's covered. Mrs. Allen, good to see you. The head, the chief technical director of the ministry, Miss Michelle Parkins, is right there beside Mrs. Allen, and Dr. Larice Edwards Brown over there, who's the head of NCRA. She and me have been in the news. But we're going to sort it out, because you know what? I got a super mandate from Parliament. Say go fix them. So we have 20 agencies. You know where my mind is what before. It is now clearly public. You don't step up to the plate, I'm going to fix you. That's not a threat, but really, we have to make sure we do the standards that we're talking about. We must raise them across the 20 agencies in our ministry. Miss Maxine Fagan, the manager of communications, who has has put all this, and good to see all of you here this evening. Wonderful to see you. I hope the food is good, Dr. Vetton, afterwards. You have to have something that is good. Or other stakeholders, media practitioners, love to have you there. And very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure as the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica's Business Ministry, and I'm so pleased to hear Dr. Gooden repeat that over and over. The message is going out. Okay, so that's one of 20. The others are saying the same thing, but we have to make sure we do it. I'm pleased to attend the launch of the BSJ's new public relations campaign. when I came to the ministry, I asked Wilfred to join as Mr. Bagaloo to join, who is a partner at PwC, to join and take over the chairmanship of BSJ. We discussed a number of things. One of the main things we focus on, almost immediately and without discussing it with each other, we both agree that people don't know enough about what BSJ does. It is vital for industry and for export that BSJ works well. But nobody knows about them. You hear BSJ, you don't even know what it means. You hear Bureau of Standards and you say, what is that? If you ever hear Bureau of Standards. So you know what? We're going to make sure you hear, and we're going to make sure you understand, and we're going to make sure as much as you want to be excellent, you have to deal with the BSJ. Because as I'm pushing exports, you cannot export well without BSJ. Just tell lady in red, Christy Berg. She is the pusher at BSJ. Okay, so you cannot do that. So I'm very pleased to see that this campaign is happening. Thank you, Chairman Bagaloo and Executive Director Dr. Gooden, for your invitation to share with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica as you continue your efforts to help people understand the vast body of work that you undertake at the BSJ. And it's a whole heap of work. If you ever get a chance to go there, you'll see what they do. They test and they measure and whatever else. I endorse the theme for the campaign, committed to quality and standards. If we are going to be the kind of country that moves from where we are to become a wealthy country, we are going to have to follow strong, firm, international standards done right here in Jamaica at the BSJ. Not somewhere else. We're not sending it anywhere else. Between the BSJ, the NCRA, and Sharon May, and the other people who are in the food testing business that Mr. Mafood mentioned, get cautious when you hear them coming. All of those are in Jamaica, and we must use them to build the strength of our businesses. So, I endorse the theme, but I will add a qualification. Not just we want to talk about standards. I want to talk about high standards. So, Dr. Gooden, you hear him have PhD and all them big things. When we talk about standards, nobody look for the low one. Aim at what Switzerland does. Aim at what South Korea does. Aim at what Japan does. Aim at what the best people in the United States and the UK do. And make sure we carry those standards to Jamaica and to our businesses. That high quality is going to make sure that we are a better country than we are now. This campaign is one of the first activities that I talked about when I looked at BSJ. And this morning, I've had this must be my 4th meeting for the day. That's how we work. This morning I was doing a debriefing of the trade mission I led to Trinidad last week and doing a pre-briefing for the trade mission I'm leading to the DOMREP later this month. And there was a young lady in there, very young. She works somewhere, but she also has her business. And her business is in the cosmetic and beauty products that are really outstanding. She said to me, and she's really quite young, she must be in her late 20s or early 30s. She said, I went to the BSJ, and when they showed me what we had to do, I want to make sure I get all of those standards in my business so that when I go overseas, I can sell my product and say, yes, we have the Bureau of Standards behind us, and this is the testing, whatever they have to do. So people are using it. Give the BSJ a clap. And that's from a young person. Now, we got a Eunice who has 36 years. And I'm going to talk about her when I come to training. But you see where she is? You see Who is doing the standard? It's not a test coming from Japan or China or the United States. It's the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica. Thank you. Not some... Clap, no man. Yeah, you start. Clap. As we look across the economic landscape and recognize the need for Jamaican businesses to be competitive locally and internationally, the commitment to high quality and high standards must be endorsed and practiced by all stakeholders. Standards, high standards, affect organizations and economies and are integral to Jamaica's economic growth and changing from where we are to prosperity and wealth. It is critical that at every level of our society, we incorporate the use of good and beneficial standards to enhance our planning and implementation of projects, to ensure safety, and to help drive the Jamaican economy to higher levels of success. Let's take the people who help us in our houses. When we practice high standards in our houses and ask them to keep our house to those standards, they take them home to their families. Not all of them. They can't afford all of them sometimes. But by heavens, they learn how to take care of their family in a more hygienic manner if you're doing it properly, if you're keeping high standards. So don't believe it's unimportant at every level of society. In government, we don't hold ourselves high enough. Not all. But many of us don't hold ourselves high enough to high standards. You hear what John said about the man who's cleaning the carpet? Him not cleaning the carpet to please the carpet cleaner. Yes, please them because he'll get the money. But that's not why he's doing it. His own personal way of doing something, because he is who he is or she's who she is why they're doing it well. We must get that in Jamaica. And it is we who are in this room who are much more privileged than many others. No matter how much money you think John has more than you, you're still very privileged. Yeah, man, look for me, you have money. So, John, if I don't do it to you, you're going to do it to me. So I better do it to you first. The message of standards is central to my own Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, where recently we were certified to internationally recognized ISO 9001-2015 standard for quality management systems. We acknowledge, yeah, give me a clap. It's not me, but you know the people who do it. But since it's me, them cuss when things go bad, we're going to take some of the credit. We acknowledge that there is more work to be done, but we have been resolute and we have led the way, being the first ministry in the country to be certified in Jamaica, or ISO unit, and it's in our ministry, so how we could go certify other people before we. Our ISO unit continues its program to sensitize our members of staff and to get other public sector bodies certified by our own national certification body of Jamaica, one of the 20 agencies in this ministry. And they have done a good job. And there are others that they have certified. The work of the BSJ is far-reaching and includes the implementation of initiatives to promote exports. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that before I sit down. Foster entrepreneurship and innovation, facilitate trade, improve competitiveness while it continues to build its own capacity to improve efficiency and responsiveness to customers. And them do all them things and them don't tell you about it. So you see why we're launching this evening? Delia, you understand? That's why we're launching this, because they're doing all those things and then don't tell people about it. Well, that's not a good idea, so we're going to change that idea. I commend the BSJ, however, on this initiative in its ongoing efforts to engage stakeholders across various industries and business sectors as they seek to cultivate a culture of quality and high standards. Strategic initiatives such as this campaign, along with collaborative partnerships, are critical to ensuring that Jamaican businesses and Jamaican business operators are properly informed, hold themselves accountable to meet high standards, and in the process benefit their customers, employees, and their owners. So, owner who own shares, make sure to tell the company that they must go to BSJ and raise their standards, because if they do it, your share prices will probably go up. The use of standards will improve business processes. Improved processes will lead to better operations, and it is my expectation that this will trigger more and better manufacturing and ultimately much more exports. Not some exports, much more. We must export more. We cannot become a wealthy country selling to only 3 million of us with a relatively small GDP per capita of 4,600. Dumrep has 8,410. Trinidad is probably about 17,000. Puerto Rico, probably 31,000. Costa Rica is 17, 18. We're not there. We have to get better. But we are getting better. 10 years ago, you wouldn't have anybody up there talking about standards. We'd be talking about other things, how much debt we have and we can't pay for it and so on. We still have more to play, but Jamaica is getting better. You know that. The macro numbers say that, and we want more Jamaicans to feel it. That 4,600 US dollars per capita GDP is not exciting to me. I want that to be higher. Therefore, our businesses must get better. Therefore, NCRA and BSJ must hold them to higher standards. Brock rice, weak block, have to go out of the window. Loris, Chairman, Head of the Council, make sure you tighten it and push it hard, because we don't want any weak standards. And CTD, tell me when them go bad. Let me know quickly so we fix it. Experts need to meet high standards and quality to grow. Bolt couldn't be what he is without high standards. Forget Bolt. Shelley and Fraser, don't forget Bolt, please. Okay? No bother with that. Then you go quote me and say, Minister said forget. No, that me mean. I mean, I'm talking about Shelley and Fraser Price. No. We talk about Bolt already. Look at those two. You know the standards that they have to keep raising? Because is them everybody wanted to beat and still want to beat? Shelley and Price. So you know, so you have to keep raising it. That's the way you have to do in business. You keep raising the standard. And I say this many places, but many of you may not have heard it yet. In 1935, Mercedes-Benz had the best car in the world, bar none, engineered like no other car in the world. That's their byline. White walls on the tire, spoke wheels, beautiful engine, nicely painted, cabriolet top. You can take it down and make your hair fly in the wind like mine. Pretty till you can't want better. Well, if Mercedes-Benz had stayed there where they were in 1935, Lewis Hamilton, of Jamaican heritage, I'm told, would not have won 8 Formula One titles in Mercedes-Benz. You can't stay where you are, not even for 3 months, when ChatGPT is going to make you mad anyway. And then if that no work, Google just bring out a new one, Barb. So you can't stay there. Companies have to continue to change and get better, and the BSJ is there to help you. Manufacturers and our service providers must export more. I was talking to one of the meetings I had today. I was talking to some pharmacists, 2 people running their pharmacy, and I said, look, I just back from Guyana. Why you weren't there with me? Guyana's population is going to probably treble in 4 to 5 years. They are going to be rich. The people who are going to Guyana are going to be engineers, going to be teachers, are going to be doctors, are going to be scientists. Is there you must go. Whatever business you have. You see the lady here who has sell turmeric with drops? Is that what they say? Renata? The same one. That one. And Karen, who's selling our almond stuff that have no preservatives. Is Guyana you must go. United States is good. We have a diaspora there and they're probably there already. But the market to come is Guyana and them like Jamaicans over there. But go over there with great standards. By the way, they know BSJ and Janak over there already. So when you tell them that you're accredited and tested by BSJ, they will wrap you up in their arms. So I'm selling Guyana as a market that you must go to. The ministry, this ministry, pledges its continued support and encourages business operators to utilize the services of the BSJ. I certainly require BSJ to constantly and clearly communicate its standards and quality requirements to its customers and inform the general public, not just your customers. Everybody across Jamaica must know that BSJ, and they must, when them travel, they must boast and say, you need to go test that BSJ in Jamaica. Why you go to Japan? We can do it for you here. But they don't know, so they can't boast. So you're going to tell them. And inform the general public clearly and regularly. And BSJ has money. Them don't take any government subvention. So I can't boast that is your money paying them. Is the money that them charge you to do the service, pay them. Them don't take any subvention from the government. And I like those kind of agencies. I have less conversation with Minister Clark. They must clearly and regularly tell their customers and others what standards and quality their customers, should expect from the businesses that buy their products and services. So you go out there and you tell people, say, look, if you're going to buy such and such and such, you must ask them for the standard. If you have the standard, go to the other shop. So that means the fear that Delia mentioned about these pan chicken who don't have no standard, she's accusing them. Not me, not the minister, is Delia. So we make sure that when people get in business, they realize it makes sense, and it makes sense for the Jamaican people to have companies that follow good standards. Companies must train their people much more and much better. Japan you spoke about, Mr. President. The tight labor market in Jamaica. You heard what Eunice said? When she went to the BSJ, she realized how much training she will have to do. That's part of... Is me listening to now? I know you were going to give me high marks, though, because you see I listen to your thing. All right? So, Eunice said, look, I learned how much we have to train. Now, I am out there pushing business, and John Mafood has been very kind and say, yes, I'm out there and telling the truth. But John, I'm saying to you and the people who are in business, and remember now, I run businesses here. I spent a lot of money when I ran NCB training people. In fact, I went to the vice chancellor at the university, and I said, I want your 15 best students. I don't care what they study. It could be science, it could be math, it could be English, I don't care, because I remember when I went to business school, the business school took the brightest minds. They didn't take them from particular schools. We had, of course, accountants and engineers, and we made jokes about them. But they took bright people from whatever they studied. So I asked the vice chancellor to give me the 15 best. And I started a training school at NCB. Well, you think people would come and hug me up and say, what a great thing? Them start telling me how I am wasting my time and people from high school can do the work on the counter better than them. And I heard that often. The people who talk to me, I call them together. I say, all right, come, let's talk. you're probably right. If you get somebody from Monroe College, they're going to be better than most anybody just coming out of university. No, sir? That's how it go. Or Campion, or maybe JC. But what happens 15 years down the road? When that person has worked all their life, and a good part of their career life, and they want to be promoted to vice president, what do you tell them? They're not ready. They don't have the equipment that you need at that level to step up to it. So I am taking in university students, spend the bank's money to train them, and I can tell you, many of them are scattered around Jamaica now running big companies. Companies, you have to train more. Jamaican companies have to train more, especially in a tight labor market. We have 300 or 400 people, 100,000 people out there that most of them, 70% of our university graduates, I'm told, are women. Maybe 85% of those people on the road are men. Don't finish high school, don't have a degree, rubbing things in them hands. We have to take them. The government through HEART is putting in, you heard the Prime Minister talk about the apprenticeship program and repurposing HEART, but businesses have to train as well as and the apprenticeship program. HEART can do it for you. Other people can do it. If you want people trained, people with those skills will set up businesses. And I want new businesses set up because they employ more people. So there's opportunity all around as business decide that they have to train more. So the Andrew Holness administration and this ministry will continue to support high standards and excellent goods and services manufactured and crafted right here in Jamaica, guided by the high and transparent standards and quality requirements of the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica. Please advertise those standards and requirements far and wide, to young and old and in between, across this economy, across this country, and I wish you every success in your public relations campaign, and I will be watching it. Thank you very much.
We can give the minister a larger round of applause than that one. Thank you very much, Minister. I like that charge that he gave to all of us. Standards, yes, but high standards. Quality is what we're aiming for. And you're doing all the work. It's time that people know what it is that you're doing. There's some folks here that I want to acknowledge before we go any further. You saw some of them on the screen. So Karen Fraser is here. Karen, where are you? Stand for us, Karen. Simply Nutritious CEO. Thank you for being here with us. Eunice Griffiths is also here. Miss Eunice, there she is. Thank you very much. A medical and immunodiagnostic laboratory. Miss Dulcie, you know you're going to stand up for me. Dulcie Allen, Consumer Affairs Commission. Yes. Yes, man. A round of applause for her. We have a representative from Caribbean Flavors Fragrances here. Yeah, please stand for me, Miss McKenzie. Thank you. The Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority is also in the house. Where is your representative? Don't be shy, you know. There you go. Loris Edwards Brown, National Compliance and Regulatory Authority, the Minister's BFF. How are you? Stan Mark is here as well. Hey, Stan Mark. I want to get this right. Is it Chevo Foods? Chevot? Did I get it right? Thank you very much. I was working on it for a while. Dairy Industries. Yay. Dr. Roy McNeil is also here. Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation. Doc, I see a man. Yes, Doc, please stand so everybody can see who you are. Yes, man. Very important person. The National Housing Trust is also here. We're talking about standards in construction. Hey, NHT. The Associated Manufacturers are also in the house. Yay. Yes, yes, yes. RSS Natural is here as well. Hey, is this a turmeric candy? Yes, man. Did you bring some? You have it, no, but you know Jamaica people, if they're going to ask you. You know, that's our standard. When we see it, we're going to say, you have none? All right. Thank you so much. And from the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, Colin Porter is here as well. Hey, Colin, great to see you. So I want to thank everyone. And we also have participants from the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality in the house. No, man, you have to stand up. CARICOM Jamaica thing, you have to stand, man. Yeah, you say, oh my gosh. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'll make sure you all get a nice piece of jerk chicken before. Thank you for being with us. So before we get to the main event, which is the launch of the video and the PR campaign, we're going to see another testimonial. And this time, it's going to come to us from Jamaica Premix Concrete Limited. Here is Kemar Pedler, Quality Control Technician.
My name is Kemar Pedler, Quality Control Technician at Jamaica Premix Concrete Limited. Jamaica Premix Concrete Limited is a company that's been in the construction industry for over 60 years, supplying customers with concrete, whether it be as simple as 1500 psi, which is pounds per square inch, and as much as 9000 psi, which would be special mixed concrete. The challenge faced by the Jamaica Premix mainly was some of our clients, mainly international clients, who required some amount of testing be done, and to avoid a conflict of interest, because we're the ones supplying the material, we decided to source these types of testing from external companies, and Bureau of Standards Jamaica provided that service. Our company, Jamaica Premix Concrete Limited, access services such as compressive strength test, which is how strong the concrete is, simply put. We do further testing such as cement test to see if it meets the specification of the cement that we're getting. We also do sieve analysis on the sand or different aggregates used to deliver this material to our clients. So we do most of these testing at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica's Testing and Industrial Services branch. Our test results were deemed more credible by our clients, and as a result, we were able to garner more customers based on the services provided by BSJ's Testing and Industrial Services branch. Our company, Jamaica Premix Concrete Limited, has shown commitment to quality and standards by ensuring that our products are consistently tested by the BSJ. My name is Kemar Pedler, Quality Control Technician at Jamaica Premix Concrete Limited, and we are committed to quality and standards.
Didn't you just love how animated he got at the end of it? Yeah, and we are. I like that, Kemar. Wow, facilitating development and trade, business development and trade. I love it. I love it. We're going to provide a little bit of entertainment for you before we get into the main event. Are you excited about this launch? You excited about the video? Did I tell you Denzel was in the video? I didn't? Oh, it's because he's not in it. I just want to make sure if I told you. But I hear star quality is going to be happening here this evening. So I hope you're as excited as I am to see. But before you do that, I want to introduce you to a young man. He's Daniel John Jackson. He's a saxophonist, tremendously talented, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy what he has in store for you this evening. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Daniel John. I'm sure you never heard a sax DJ before, right? Did you hear it? I like it. And I see everybody's been clapping. And them not want to sing, you know. Them not say, too much standards when it comes to taking the wrong note. All right? But I feel like we're in the mood now for why we're here, which is the launch of our campaign video. Before it starts, can I get a round of applause? Everybody's put this all together. And for what we're about to see, come on, let's hear, woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. I feel like the MGM lion should just roar. And it, you know, you go to the movies and you're, right, no, okay, I don't have it right, but ladies and gentlemen, the BSJ PR campaign video. Please enjoy.
Demonstrates standards and quality systems in both the production of goods and delivery of service.
And the Bureau of Standards Jamaica.
From the Bureau of Standards.
My name is Nadine White-Adams from the BSJ's Microbiology branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Nigel Griffiths from the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, Electrical and Electronics branch. We are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Andrea Lee Reed from the BSJ Communication and Customer Service branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Matthew Lee from the BSJ's Packaging, Non-Metallics and Furniture branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Sonia Morgan from the Quality Institute, Bureau of Standards Jamaica.
And we are committed to quality and standards.
Hi, my name is Akeem Morris from the BSJ Mechanical and Metrology branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Elaine Edwards from the BSJ's Standards Development branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Andre McIntosh from the BSJ's Testing and Industrial Services branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
My name is Tony Thomas from the BSJ's Chemistry branch, and we are committed to quality and standards.
know you felt like some nachos and cheese and some popcorn a while ago. Yeah, man, I could see everybody's face. You were all drawn in. Another round of applause. So what I really loved about it is at the end of it, I had a better idea of all the branches at the BSJ and the people behind it. So when I get to BSJ, I can ask for somebody by name. Because, yes, I can say, hi, afternoon, I'm here to Sonia Morgan. Because, yeah, it puts a face to the work. Thank you so much, BSJ, for that. Before Maxine Fagan joins me, there are some other people that I'd like to acknowledge in the audience. Kamar is here, by the way, peddler from Jamaica Premix. Kamar, where are you? There he is. Lifespan is here with us as well. Thank you, Lifespan. You've heard us mention JANAC, the Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation, JANAC. Grace Food Processors is also in the house. Hey, Grace. TPDCO. Hey, TPDCO. And Carib Cement. Thank you, Carib Cement. And I'd also like to acknowledge Dwayne Haynes, who is here representing the permanent secretary. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard a lot about this PR campaign. You've seen the video. We want to tell you some more about what's going to be happening in the next couple of months. And so it's my pleasure to invite Maxine Fagan. She's Manager, Communication and Customer Service at the BSJ, and she's going to give us an overview of the campaign. Let's hear it for Maxine.
Thank you, Delia. All right, so I don't want to drop the mood too much. So we are talking about standards, and so protocol dictates. Okay, so I have to do the salutations. I'm going to run through it real quick because we're all about standards. So I'm acknowledging our Master of Ceremony. She's been doing a great job, Delia Harris. Senator Honorable Arvin Hill, our parent minister and in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Our chairman, Mr. Wilfred Bagaloo, chairman of the BSJ Standards Council, our executive director and leader, Sir Velton Gooden, and Mr. John Mafood, thank you so much. He's the president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. BSJ team members who are here, specially invited guests, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us in this very, very, I know Irene, our marketing and public relations officer likes to say, monumentous occasion. All right, so Minister said earlier that you may not know too much about the BSJ, so I'm going to get to the campaign elements. However, bear with me. I'm going to be giving you some insights into the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. So here we go. So you've seen the testimonials, and you have heard from individuals whose lives who have been touched, have been impacted, whose businesses have been impacted by the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. And so we want to replicate that impact across various business sectors. We want business operators to perceive the BSJ as a resource, a valuable resource to help them along their personal business journey, to help them provide a quality product or service, to satisfy customer needs and ultimately achieve business success. All right, so I'm seeing on the slide, so it's a little bit preemptive, but I'm very agile because that's what we do here at the BSJ. So because that's being projected now, I wasn't quite ready for it just yet, but let me go into it, as sometimes these things are divine intervention. So you're seeing on screen, and you're seeing Albert's journey. Now, Albert, and his name is Albert Businessman, and Businessman is his family name, all right? So Albert Businessman, so we're going to be talking about the journey of Albert. So Albert has a business idea. He decides to produce sugarcane juice because he loves cane from him small. So this is a journey with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. So let's listen to Albert's journey with the BSJ. So he engages with the BSJ, and he's referred to our client services program. Now, the client services program, just to give you a little bit of insight, so it's really free consultancy. Can you imagine? You don't have to pay for it. So we have individuals, officers in the client services program, so they're your personal consultant. So Albert has the idea, and he engages rather with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The client services officer gives him advice, makes recommendations. He wants to ensure that the package he decides to use is fit for purpose and can withstand the rigors of handling and transportation, and also his label is correct. So what does he do next? It's a journey. He utilizes the services of the packaging laboratory and does the drop impact test, and also the can seam test, because he wants to package the product in plastic bottles and cans. He also utilizes the label assessment service from that same lab. He then engages with the microbiology lab to test for microorganisms or contaminants, because he wants to ensure that the product is safe for consumption. Albert, no wonder nobody sue him. He's doing the right thing. He then engages the chemistry lab for nutritional analysis for that particular service. He's still going along the journey. He's manufacturing a food product, and so he wants to ensure that he's doing the correct thing, and he's manufacturing those food items under safe conditions. So he engages with the Quality Institute, and he does a training course called Good Manufacturing Practices. He's still going along the path. He's looking ahead now to exporting, and he's now introduced to a quality management system, or he wants to introduce that system in his business operations. He then visits the BSJ library and purchases the ISO 9001 Quality Management System standard. Having bought the standard and intending to implement the standard, he then does another course, because you buy the standard, but you don't really understand it. You want to do the right thing, but you need further guidance. What do you do? Albert is very astute. Albert engages with the BSJ once again. And what does Albert do? Albert then goes to the Quality Institute of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, which is the training arm of the BSJ. He then engages in a course called Understanding and Interpreting ISO 9001. There are resources there for you. Albert has now expanded his business, having implemented the quality management system. He then takes another step to be certified to the ISO 9001, which is then provided by the National Certification Body of Jamaica. That's an arm of the BSJ, by the way, albeit separate. He is now a big businessman. So right now, nobody can chat to Albert, right? He's gone to the next level. So now, he's at the stage where he wants to export. What does he do? He engages with another branch of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. That branch is the Food Safety Modernization branch. And that branch, of course, will give Albert insight now into what it, because he wants to go to the U.S. market. Everybody wants to go to the U.S. market. Minister, you're guiding them. Guyana is there for the taking. But Albert is following the status quo, and he wants to get into the U.S. market. And so he engages with our Food Safety Modernization branch, and that branch provides information as to what is required by the FDA, and so Albert gets that insight. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, by the way, we are a World Trade Organization inquiry point. So there's a vast, what we really want to communicate with this communication, or public relations rather, campaign, is that the Bureau of Standards Jamaica is a resource. We want to be considered as a resource, a significant resource along your business journey. And just to drop one bit of information, I'm not going by scripts because I know the time and we've been here, and this is the meat of the matter, but you need to know. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, by the way, plays a significant role in what is called the National Quality Infrastructure of Jamaica, or NQI. NQI, for those who don't know, it's a framework through which goods and services produced and traded in the country are declared fit for consumption or use in the marketplace. Now, an interesting fact. The NQI consists of 4 pillars. You can take down Albert's journey for now. So the NQI consists of 4 pillars. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, just to demonstrate to you the impact of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, of the 4 pillars of the National Quality Infrastructure of Jamaica, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica and the services, we are holding up all of 3 of the 4 pillars. Can you imagine if the 3 pillars fail, what happened to the national quality infrastructure of Jamaica? So the national, you can load the music. So the national quality infrastructure of Jamaica consists, I'm going to tell you the pillars that makes up rather the national quality infrastructure of Jamaica. So we have standards development, conformity assessment, metrology, and accreditation. So another agency is responsible for the 4th pillar. Now, the core services of the BSJ, just to give you some insight into the pillars, so standards development, testing, calibration, and verification, and then we of course have training. It's not a part of the pillars per se, but it is one of the core services, so I'm giving you the information. Nonetheless, Mr. Mafood mentioned it because we have been communicating, and believe it or not, speaking about conformity assessment, which is a pillar, we offer at the BSJ, the lab services, that is, over 200 laboratory services. So it's very, very vast indeed. And under the categories, analytical testing, which includes chemical and microbiological tests, nutritional analysis, packaging, packaged products and material testing, label assessment and verification, product testing, which includes type approval and acceptance, construction materials, appliances, metal products, etc. And then there's calibration or calibration services. All right, so let me give you another example now before I go into the elements, just to kind of demonstrate. So the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, some persons, or I like to think that persons, may consider us as a little helper in the background, doing what we do, but we are ensuring that things are working well in the foreground. And so, 2 quick examples. So, everybody can relate to going to the doctor. Of course, everybody goes to the doctor. You go to the doctor or your healthcare practitioner, and they string you up with the machine. Now, you see our director of metrology and testing. The machine is called, I hope I get it right, the SPIG manometer. Who know what that is? SPIG manometer. Did I get it right? Guess what? It's a blood pressure machine, long and short, right? So, you go to the doctor and them string you up with the blood pressure machine, and then you assume, here comes the BSJ as little helpers, I'm giving you an example. You assume that when they take your blood pressure, the readings are correct. Not true. Of course, you assume that. But guess what? We are here to tell you at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica that those readings may not, in fact, be correct. Because if the doctor never get the instrument calibrated at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica metrology and testing lab, it may not be accurate. During COVID, we can all relate again. They keep pointing these devices at us every minute. Lord, I'm glad COVID done. So they're pointing these thermometers at our heads all the time. And everybody will look and glance and say, all right, you're good. But were these instruments really accurate? Maybe not. Unless they had these instruments calibrated at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. And most people may not even think that, oh, these things need calibrating. I remember in some presentations that we had, they're thinking that, oh, it come out of the box, it new, so it's accurate. No. Unless they've had that instrument calibrated at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, it may not, in fact, be accurate. So these are just, this is one of the examples that I'm just throwing out there. So another example, quick. So we've seen the videos, and let us say, for example, a consumer may purchase their favorite cottage industry product. That's a nice term, but we call it the liquor man. All right, so they've purchased their favorite product, and products such as bag drink, roots drink, tamarind balls. There is a level of assurance that it is safe for consumption if the samples were passed through the BSJ's microbiology lab and tested to detect microorganisms or harmful substances that may be present in these favorite products. So this is just a little insight into what we do now. I am going to be going at this time into the elements of the public relations campaign, because as we said, We want to really have persons considering the Bureau of Standards Jamaica more so as a resource along their business journey. All right, so the campaign charge or the campaign slogan, it is committed to quality and standards. We saw our team members and they are echoing our commitment to quality and standards. You saw the video. No, and in that you would have seen some of the things that we are saying that we are committed to. So fostering a culture of quality and standards, of course, we have to do that as a national standards body. Facilitating the production or development of quality goods and services, and of course facilitating market access. So let me tell you how we plan to do that. So the campaign will focus on specific business segments initially. Edie mentioned it, the food sector, very big sector, very significant sector, the construction sector and tourism, and as we go along, other sectors as well. But we will start with a level of focus to be very strategic initially in this campaign. One of the elements, one of the first things that we will be doing, so we're going to be going outer road. So the BSJ outer road tour. So that is one of the elements that we'll be putting out there. So this road tour, this outer road tour, this will see us leaving the confines of the office spaces of the BSJ and the virtual world and going into the field. This is about direct engagement of individuals. That's one component of the outer road tour. We will be having conversations, looking at operators, the business operators that is, engaging with them on an individual basis, giving advice where we identify gaps, etc. But we are not going to be going, as my grandmother would say, we'd be too long on. No. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be offering package deals. So in having that conversation, that one-on-one sit-down, that one-on-one engagement with these business operators, in that conversation, we may discover gaps. And if we do discover gaps, we're going to be seeking to fill those gaps. And how are we going to be filling those gaps? So, for example, they may have been using standards, they may not have been using standards. The conversation will unveil all of that. So, if we identify a gap that a standard may fill, we may offer them a free standard. We may then say to them, okay, you have the standard, but guess what? You have an additional gap, you have an additional need, and so we're going to be offering you a percentage discount on a training program. And so we're going there, it's not just a bag amount, you know, we're seeing these gaps and we're going to be seeking to fill these gaps. All right, so we're also going to be, so that is one aspect of the outer road. We're also going to be staging stakeholder forums, so it's a more mass sort of engagement. And we will engage multiple stakeholders in centralized areas. That's another aspect of the outer road tour. We're also going to be embarking on a school tour, because if we are seeking to affect or influence a culture of quality and standards, then we have to start there. We have to start with the children. So at the primary level, at the secondary level, we're going to be talking standards. Because if we can have an impact at that level early, can you imagine years to come? So that is one of the strategies that we are employing. So we're going to be talking to the kids at that level. And of course, you package yourselves differently because you want your audience to engage with you no matter what you're speaking. So we're talking to big business, middle business, children, we're talking standards. We're talking the Bureau of Standards Jamaica as a resource, as a tool that can help you. All right, so we're also going to be, one other aspect of the campaign, we'll be having our featured newspaper articles, and we're going to have stories. So it's not about, we're not selling the services of the BSJ, really. But what we're doing, rather, we're engaging, we're demonstrating how the BSJ can help you, how the BSJ adds value. We're demonstrating the impact of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. So we'll have articles with various subject areas being presented. We're going to be talking to the general public. We're going to be talking to business operators. We're going to be talking to targeted segments. So we may have an article coming out that deals, for example, with the construction sector. So, all right, so we're going to be having featured newspaper articles. Of course, we have to engage in the social media space, and so we'll be having our social media campaign. We embarked on a little bit of it in the past, but we're going to be delving a little bit deeper. So campaigns, for example, know your standards, those sort of things, so we can delve a little bit deeper, be more consistent in our messaging, and then introduce various elements as it relates to social media and how we can engage with audiences. We're going to be going a step further because these days, you know, the young ones like me, you talk about influencers. And so we're going to be engaging through that channel as well, because these influencers, they have a following. They have an audience. And so we really want to be tapping into that audience. So we're talking standards. If we can get the influencers to talk standards, then they can then influence their followers to talk standards. And so you start it, and then it's like a ripple effect. You throw the pebble in the water, and it ripples out. So that's one of the strategies that we will be employing. Of course, we'll also be having our billboard and digital screen advertising. So it's going to be in a particular space, a very high traffic space. So we're looking at Halfway Tree. We're looking at the various high traffic spaces. And so we're going to be appearing there as well, as part of, you know, just trying to have a consistent presence across various channels. We are going to be having our various forms of radio advertising. So we're going to be one modality, we're going to be having a dramatization, and we know what that entails. So we're telling a story, we're acting out, persons can relate. So dramatization is one type of radio advertising that we will pursue. I'll tell you a little bit later about our jingle. That's the last thing I'll speak of. But we are also going to be sponsoring various radio programs. So radio program sponsorship is another aspect of the rollout of the PR campaign. We're going to be staging the BSJ MSME workshops. So we're going to be having workshops. Of course, we're going to seek to engage more with our stakeholders, stakeholder partnerships. We have a lot of stakeholders here today. So we are saying to you, if you have a project that you are embarking on, include the BSJ. We're going to be engaging with you, but we may not know what you're doing. So we're going to be saying to you, if you have a project, then by all means engage with us, partner with us, because I think we have collective agendas in terms of serving the public, ensuring health and safety. And so let us see how we can bring those together in partnership for the greater good. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be engaging more in that regard. We're going to be having our interview series. So you've seen some testimonials, and so persons like to see examples. So you're in a little space, and like Albert, and you know, you want to do a thing, as we say, but yeah, I mean, if you see somebody else like you doing a thing, doing something, you are then encouraged to do your something and to come out. So we want to bring more of that in this space so persons can relate, persons can see other business persons, how they have benefited from the services of the BSJ. And so we want to be putting more of that out there as part of the engagement, and have persons look at it, take a second look and say, but if Renetta make drops and Greater Cake and she engage with the BSJ and I do our thing, I can do a thing too. So that sort of thing, right? And there's a magazine program Sonia Morgan has been championing. We're including that in the campaign as well. So we're going to be engaging, and that program, Standards Matters. That's the name of the program. So you'll hear more about that as we go along. And there's, of course, our radio jingle. So we have engaged in a particular way in the past. Yes, it's the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, where we're astute and we do testing and all these wonderful things, but we really want to be speaking about the wider benefits. How do you get from there to export, for example? Because persons don't necessarily relate or make the connection. And so we're going to be seeking to make that connection in this public relations campaign. That's the heart of it. I'll say again, we want persons to regard, to view the Bureau of Standards Jamaica in a different way. We want them to see the Bureau of Standards Jamaica as a resource a resource along your business journey. And so with all of these elements of the campaign coming together, being built out, engaging, maintaining a consistent presence, that take money, but we're going to do it. Chairman, yes. So we want to be consistent, we want to be engaging, we want to communicate what we do, how we do, but most importantly, the impact to you, the public, the consumers, our stakeholders. And that is what we're seeking to do with this public relations campaign. Now, with that said, we're going to be having the world premiere of our jingle. Now, we know the nature of jingles, and we want to go a little bit differently. We have a very serious and astute commercial, you know. Anybody has heard it? The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, you know, astute and all of that. Yes. However, we have the jingle, which is a little bit lighter, you know, telling a story, talking about other things that we really want to have persons thinking about the Bureau in a different way. And so, we're going to be premiering that jingle shortly, and I'll tell you a little story about the jingle. So, in trying to get to the right jingle, or, you know, something that's acceptable, we have a committee, yes, we engage persons to produce, but we also engage the staff. Because yes, we want to be talking to our stakeholders, etc., but we want to be talking to our family as well, our internal customers. And so they had a hand in the selection of the video, of the jingle rather. And so there was a staff vote as part of the engagement process, and you know, this one emerged, and I like it, but I hope you do like it too. So that's all being said, I am declaring this public relations campaign officially launched. All right. Yeah, so now we're launched. So let me hear you now. Are you committed? Committed to what? Come on, man, that sounds weak. Are you committed? Committed to what? All right, so now the world premiere of the BSJ jingle.
BSJ! Calling all business operators, entrepreneurs, creators, inventors. You know the score. Turn your next idea into something real. You have standard. Tell me what it is. Expand your business. Export overseas. Get trade. Test products. Need standards with ease. Ask about calibration at BSJ. Explore your options.
Call the BSJ at 876-618-1543 or visit our website, bsj.org.jm. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, committed to quality and standards.
Yeah, one more time, just for good measure. Let's dance. Come, one more time.
Calling all business operators, entrepreneurs, creators, inventors. You know the score. Turn your next idea into something real. You have standards. Tell me what it is. Expand your business. Export overseas. Get trade. Test products. Need standards with ease. Ask about calibration at BSJ. Explore your options.
Call the BSJ at 876-618-1543 or visit our website, bsj.org.jm. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, committed to quality and standards.
I love it. I know you wanted to get up and dance, right? Standards are important. I tell you something, during COVID, they didn't change the thermometer from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So I walked into a supermarket, and when the security did this, him said, 100? Him said, me never see this yet. And then he started running around the supermarket, and they locked me outside. I'm laughing, no, it wasn't funny then. But thank you, BSJ. You heard it, a very extensive PR program, outer road tours, stakeholders forum, school tours, featured articles, sharing experiences, not stories, social media, hashtag know your standards, I love it, interview series, magazine programs, billboards, radio advertising, MSME workshops. Listen, we're spreading the word, BSJ committed to quality, and I want to thank every single person who came out this evening. Minister, thank you so much for being here. We know the schedule. Mr. Mafood, I know the jet lag very well, especially from Japan. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Dr. Gooden and your team, for hosting us this evening. And for everyone who turned out this evening, please don't run off. I know it's a little bit later than you expected, but we have some cocktails for you, and it's a great opportunity to mingle, network, meet other MSMEs, and you saw the faces of the persons at BSJ. Get to know someone, make a friend, and see how that can help you. I'm Delia Harris. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Please get home safely, everyone. God bless.